Hi everyone, I'm Echoes and I'm a VTuber, and I'll be going over episode 12 of Trigun Stargaze. And yeah, sorry for the delay with this reaction. I've just been kind of busy lately and haven't had the energy after work, but I'm going to be gradually catching up. So yeah, so at least we'll finish this up and then we'll work on the next reactions afterwards. So yeah, let's get started. So in the beginning, we get this recap with sort of what's it called? Knives essentially dealing with the ramifications of his connection with Tesla, essentially, and being in general really sad and unhappy. Um, and you can see that the people on the arc are like, "Is there any way we could help?" And you said earlier, Nas was talking to the plants, and the plants aren't listening to him, by the way. And we also have the doctor apologize to Elendira, who I don't remember if we ever get explanation who she is, besides that she's just a member of Nice's group. But maybe I'll look into this probably separately, but yeah, she definitely is a member of Knives group at the very least, and she's probably the one who wants the closest, who is the person who wants to get to Knives the most, but isn't able to. And then you can see that Meryl's trying to communicate with the plants, so she's trying to use the song that Knives plays in order to stop Knives essentially. But she hasn't played in a while, so Elendira, I believe, is helping her out. I can't believe they're born this planet. Oh yeah, this is where the flea is talking about how Knives is independent and he's fused with the plant and they're trying to attack him here. But it looks like they're able to deflect the energy to some extent. So yeah, so you can see that Vash and what is his name? Keep forgetting the name, sorry. And then his friend are here to help. And obviously has a lot of energy and all that stuff. And there's a threat to humanity. And you can see Knives essentially uses his, I guess, his roots or branches to essentially pierce into each ship and drag them with him. And he's trying to crash them into the planet. And then you can see that Meryl and Millie are trying to communicate with the planters. Like, we're alive. We want to know more about you. Do best to have a better relationship. So please help us. And then this is where I believe the plants are able to listen and essentially have like some sort of like resonance of some sort and then disconnect from the ships. I don't really know. The only thing is that some parts are a little difficult to understand. Like you can see that the plants have this like blossoming effect on the ships. And I can't really tell what's going on besides the fact that they're kind of like disconnecting from Knives. So Knives is essentially by himself now. And then even Vash is trying to do something right here. Where like, oh, I couldn't understand the plants and all that stuff. What was I doing? And there's no point in us fighting anymore. And you can see like Knives is like, what's the point of me suffering for so long? And I, will do what I chose to do. And you can see that Vash and Knives have their fight, and essentially while falling onto the planet here. And he's like, kill me. Let's have, and then you can see like half into humanity, and you can see for they're cared for mentor. It's like, Vash, I need to do something for me. Um, no matter what happens, you have to be there for Knives because essentially they're twins, right? They're siblings, but also there's also technically the people who could understand each other best in a way. Don't let Nye be alone. And then you can see that he's trying to connect with Tesla's sadness. He's like, sorry, I did not understand how sad you were for 150 years and that you're holding on to Tesla's grief. I won't let you be alone anymore. He's not going to kill him because that's how Vash fights. And then you can see the plants are essentially going off to this other dimension because they're supposed to be higher dimensional beings, right? Um, You can see that essentially they're going away, and you can see that Tesla is also able to go to wherever the plants are going. Which is, I think, this really beautiful moment with the rest of the plants. And the reason plants perish are not kept by humans. I think, oh yeah, and then we get this moment here. And then she essentially says that the plants are lonely, so they end up dying due to the sadness, essentially. So you can see the doctor is actually a really important person. This screenshot, I think, shows that he's actually the doctor who led to Tesla's suffering, essentially. He's the one who who proposed what do you call it? It was vivisecting her, and he had to hold that regret for the rest of his life, essentially. And then you can see it's really beautiful that they have this, like, what do you call it? This falling wing effect. And you see this is why Vash brings up God here. It's like the falling of angel wings. And then those wings carry Tesla's suffering, essentially. Then the arc is falling. And then you can see that what Vash is doing here is that he is creating a entrance to the portal beyond the gate to our world. What it means our world is probably where the plants originally came from, because as you know, the plants came from like another dimension, right, or another place. So he's like, oh, let's go together beyond. But it would mean essentially mean, them, I guess, dying, essentially. And I want to make sure nobody has to cry ever again. And then I should be the last one to suffer. So here's where essentially Knives, I guess he essentially dies here and goes to the other place where the plants all are. And they kind of land where the what's it called? Where July happened. And then you get the rainfall, and where they land, they create this little like oasis of sorts, where we then get a flash forward to 1 year since they call it the Genesis here. Last run by Million Knives created water on the barren planet, which improved the soil and allowed flora to grow. So essentially, it's not like a small pool. It's like, I guess it's like a continuously creating pool of some sort. Or maybe just the same water constantly gets recycled somehow. I don't know. Maybe let's not think about it too deeply. But yeah, but it's essentially he created a reservoir that could be used for the entire planet, from what I could tell. Take a long time for it to cover the whole planet. So some people were left on no man's land to protect the flora here. So it'll eventually become habitable, but it'll take a long time. And then the rest will go with immigrant fleet to find a new place to live. And Vash Stampede, let's see, I think his bounty was canceled, but the ones who actually saved the planet, the people on it, was technically Knives. Yeah, it was Knives and his brother. I guess it's like their mutual effect as twins and independence. See, all the people are lining up to enter the ship. I intend to continue crawling the brothers' 150-year journey. And you can see that over here, this what's it called? He's the like the bug tamer. He's giving her a bug so that he could kind of see what happens in the universe through the bug, essentially. Which is pretty cool. Or worm is correction. Not capable of traveling between stars, after all. Never be lonely. That's repaying me for helping you. And then you can see the family members of both Meryl and Millie, which is kind of pretty wholesome that we get to see their parents animated. And then you can see that this guy was inspired by Meryl's writing, which I mean what you ran on the trip. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of like the cycle, right? Where she was inspired by her mentor, and then this guy's inspired by her and looks just like what her mentor looked like, funnily enough. It's a nice what do you call it? Like passing of the baton. and then they experience the story of the plants. But as I say, pain is easily forgotten when it's over. We let it slide, and here it goes. And then one day, our descendants will find a way to truly coexist with the plants. That there's hope. We will keep telling that story for the future generations. I pray that we can keep up our courage. So yeah, and then we have the play. There's a grave created for I believe Knives here, and then the picture here with the two siblings, and you can see Vash is here. You can see he's pretty much closer to death because his hair has turned completely black. And they're like, it's like, oh, I'm staying in no man's land, aren't I? Saying it's like it's too early for you to stay here in your sunset years. You come back here when you're older. And it was like, aren't I already kind of old already? Let's offer how fun this will be when we're all old and wrinkly. Okay. Gets his jacket. And then you can see that Meryl's like, oh, essentially asking him questions about who he is. And then they're all racing to the shuttle now to board to find the whatever new powder plant they could find. Always have the ticket waiting for you to write wherever you go. But yeah, then that's the end. I think overall, like, having watched this whole series, right? I feel like this climax is definitely an interesting choice. I can't say it's my favorite. Like, I feel like Knives essentially becoming a giant puddle is definitely a way of ending him, I suppose. And the plan's going to another dimension. Yeah, that's definitely a way of doing things. I mean, I would say it ended surprisingly peacefully, I suppose, but it is a little bit uneventful. I don't know, like when I watched this for the first time, I just felt like I wasn't very satisfied with it. And in general, this season, last season, I feel like they're doing pretty good, but I feel like it's nothing like exceptional by any means. It's like bog standard okay. I give it like a 7. Um, it's not bad, but not amazing either. Obviously, the 3D animation is pretty good, but besides a few certain episodes, most episodes are not that eventful. Only like a few things happen compared to other series, which are a lot more dense. But yeah, I think it's an overall solid. I would recommend, at least if you want to watch something 3D and slice space related and somewhat Trigun related. But I don't think you're expecting any amount of super amount of depth here. Because I feel like some things are like hand wave, especially like with Tesla. Um, and we still don't know who Ellen Deer is. Because like it's like, oh, she, her pain will be felt, but also be forgotten. I guess it's definitely a way of putting things, but but regardless, though, I'm glad that Tesla and perhaps Knives are not suffering, or in whatever other dimension that all the plants went to. So, and Vash will stay behind until he eventually passes on to. Yeah, definitely not a bad ending, but I would say, I don't know. I would say with all the build-up, it feels a somewhat not satisfying. But I guess we'll take what we can get in this case. But yeah. Anyway, that's all for me, and thanks for watching.